Well, good morning and welcome to Move Early, Move Often. It is Functional Friday. I am Blake Martin. And last week we started doing some explorations, moving into the rear and side spaces. Again, these are important spaces as we age. They're kind of ways of moving and directions of moving that we tend to lose. When did we stop moving backwards? When did we stop moving sideways? And that's an interesting philosophical question that I don't want to get into. What I do want to talk about is the benefit of moving in these directions. They're really important for stabilization and for preventing falls. They also just increase your motor repertoire, give you more things that your body is able to do. So really important. We're going to warm up. We're going to do some turning into the side, front, and back space. And we're going to be adding rotation to these movements. Let's go. Because we're going to be doing a little bit of jumping, and not really, big jumps, but we're going to be doing a little bit. We're going to do some ankle rotations, just because every time you're going to jump, you want to make sure that your ankles are just kind of on point. You don't want them to be floppy. That was really technical. There's this muscle property. It's called thixotropy, and it has to do with the remembered length of the muscle, blah, 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 and the spindle fibers. You don't need to know about that. Just what we want to do is we want to do ankle rotations, just so we're kind of getting the muscles to have a shorter remembered length. All right, let's just do a little knee bends and extensions, knee bend and extension, and rise up. Again, we're just kind of getting the ankles ready. All right. Yeah, I got rain coming in my house today. Very exciting. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to be doing, I'm going to turn away from you. Now hopefully I can speak loud enough, because I want you to move in the same direction that I'm moving. So first we're going to turn our bodies. We're going to step to the left. And then come back to where you were. We're going to do the same thing and go behind us. So go into your backspace, just to the left. It's also kind of a clockwise thing. So let's do that again. Clockwise, back, clockwise. No, that's anti-clockwise, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to turn anti-clockwise, but we're going to go forward. We're going to step onto the right. Forward and back. Forward and back. We're going to do the same thing, stepping to the right and rotating anti-clockwise and back. Forward and back. So we'll go left, left, anti-clockwise to the back, anti-clockwise, forward onto the right, anti-clockwise, and to the right, anti-clockwise. Let's do the same thing going to the right side. Step right, but now we're going clockwise, turning this way, and back. Opposite direction, rotating 2 times. Go to the back, and return, back, and return. Now we're going to go into the forward space onto the left foot, left, and return, and now to the left side, and turning clockwise. And let's try a full set of those going to the clockwise direction. So step right and back, step back onto the right and back, step forward onto the left and back, and step leftward and back, right. So right, up, wow, blew that. Clockwise to the back, clockwise, onto the left, clockwise, and onto the left, clockwise. Okay, so we're trying to always go clockwise or always go anti-clockwise. So now we're going to change that into a jump onto the left foot. We're going anti-clockwise. So jump and jump back. Now we're going into the back space. Anti-clockwise onto the left. Jump, jump back. We're always just doing a quarter rotation. Now we're going to go onto the right into the forward space. Jump and come back. And into the right. Jump, come back. Now onto the left, clockwise. Right? So left, clockwise. Sorry. Right, clockwise, right, and back into the back space, onto the right, and back onto the left, and back, and onto the left, and back. One more time to kind of nail it home. Anti-clockwise onto the left, jumping, left. Really try to land that into the backspace and land it. Now we're going to switch feet. We're going to go right and back and onto the right and back. We're going to switch feet again. We're going to go rightwards, clockwise and back to the backspace and back. Switch feet. Going left and back, and again, left and back. Okay, up the confusion level. No, not the confusion level, but the difficulty level. We're going to make this, actually it'll be easier now because we're going from 2 feet to 2 feet. And we're just going to do a hop. And we're always going to turn to the same direction. We're always going to be going anti-clockwise first. So we'll go left, anti-clockwise to the back with a quarter turn rotation and back to the front and back to the right and back. Let's do that again. Left and back, back and return, front and return, right and return. Now we're going to go in the opposite direction, clockwise, right, and turn, back, and turn, front, and return, and left, and return. Okay, let's make these jumps a little bit bigger. I'm going to try and get right to the couch, and I want you to really turn a big jump and go as far as you can on these jumps. So left and return, back and return, front and return to the right, right and return. And we're going the other direction now, right and return, back and return, front and return, left and return. Nice. So the big thing that we're doing here is we're trying to get these turns and we're trying to maintain our balance. The bigger your excursion is from your starting place, the harder it is going to be for you to balance as you get there. So to make it just a little more challenging, we're going to do to the left and we're going to do a full half rotation. So we're facing the opposite space. And then come back. We're going to go backwards and return. We're going to go forwards, still turning anti-clockwise, and return, and to the right, and return. Okay, so do that with me. Left, and return, back, and return, forward, full half turn, and return to the right, and return. Now we're going to go anti-clockwise. Clockwise. Wow, having trouble with that today. To the right, and return. To the back, and return. To the front, and return, and to the left, and return. Let's try that again. Right, and return, full half turns. Back, and return. Front, and return. Right, and return. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to build it up. We're going to do quarter turn and back, half turn and back. So you're going to do quarter, half, quarter, half, quarter, half, all the way around. Quarter, half, quarter, half, quarter, half, all the way around in the opposite direction. So doing that with me, really stick the landings. Knees should track out over your toes. And let's go. Quarter and back. Half, half, and back to the back space. Quarter and back. Full half turn and return to the front space. Quarter and back. Full half. Half and back to the right. Quarter and turn. Full and return. Now clockwise. Same thing, quarters and halves. Quarter and return. Half and return to the back. Quarter and return. Half and return to the front. Quarter and return. Half and return to the left. Quarter and return. And half and return. All right, a little bit of mental gymnastics for me as I'm trying to lead this. On the stepping one, the important thing to get, if you're going to practice this on your own, is just keep going in a clockwise direction, regardless of what foot you're on, and then keep going in an anti-clockwise direction. Why? Because, well, in parkour, sometimes movements demand this. We have to get to a thing that's over here. And we have to leap from a very narrow place here to something that's on the opposite side. So sometimes the direction is demanded by the environment. Let's just take a second. Stand balanced. Stand calm. Find the 4 points of your toes. Make little anchors on the earth with your toes and your heels. Stand tall, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over knees, and knees over the ankles, the navicular bone. Stand nice and tall. Bring your chin down. A few breaths. Just calm. Beautiful. All right. All right. So I apologize for any confusion with my instructions. The important thing is that as you're doing those rotations, to just concentrate. If we were doing them out in the wild, you'd actually have a thing that you were jumping onto. And I wouldn't be able to tell you what direction to turn because your body and the environment would need to tell you that. So that's the big idea here. We're practicing moving into the side and back spaces, and we're doing it with hops, so quite dynamically so that we have to stick the balance. So really quite complex from a neuromuscular standpoint, and then we're adding in the little instructional aspect of it too to keep it brain active. You've moved early today. I hope you remember to move often throughout the day and throughout your weekend. We'll see you back on Monday for Momentum Monday. Have a great weekend and take care.